Hi and welcome. Today I want to tell you about licentia poetica in directing. We all know that films are not reality. They resemble reality, but to be proficient in your storytelling, you need to simplify things. So, as filmmakers, we want to tell you the story with as little explaining as possible. And here the licentia poetica comes in handy. It's basically the rule that you are allowed to simplify or alter reality as much as you can until it serves the story. However, there is a limit to that. Simplification shouldn't be made because you're being lazy. To show you what I mean, I have short clips from two World War II films. One is Red Tails and the other is Dunkirk. But before we'll get into that, if you're interested in analyzing films like a pro on your own, I wrote a 5-step guide. That's a PDF file that you can download for free. The link is in the description if you're interested in that. So, in a moment, we are going to watch two air fighting scenes. Military aviation is a bit of a hobby of mine, so I have some knowledge that lets me evaluate these simplifications and how it serves the story. Let's begin with the scene from Red Tails. It's a film about brave men of Tuskegee Air Force. It was a real unit that was put together with Afro-American airmen to fight Nazis in Italy. In this scene, our heroes are chasing enemy plane. Let's watch the scene.
There's a squad leader. Gonna take him out.
Careful, he's good.
You letting him get away, Lightning? I'm just toying with him. This is for you, pretty boy, with your bright yellow nose. Come on, boy, line it up. One shot. Holy crap! Ah! How do you do that?
Exactly. How did he do that? Now, you may not know a lot about aviation, but you can tell that this maneuver performed by a German pilot seems to defy the laws of physics, right? It looks fake. Also, the behavior of Nazi pilot is unrealistic. He's in mortal danger, running away from his enemy, and he wouldn't be smiling at all. The whole scene seems a little bit cartoonish, and it's weird and creepy in a motion picture that depicts a real historical event. Now, if the creators of this film took some time on the research, they would have found a maneuver that would accomplish shift in the fight that was needed here. They just didn't. Now, to show you an example of a justified simplifications, we are going to watch a scene from Dunkirk. To give you some context, our protagonist pilot decided to stay in the skies of France and defend the retreat of his fellow comrades on the ground. So he knows that at some point his fuel is going to run out and he will have to land and surrender to Germans. Let's watch this particular moment and focus on how it was shown by the director. Okay, first small simplification. Have you noticed the behavior of the propeller? After the fuel ran out, the propeller stopped and then the pilot noticed it. It's not real. It would be spinning. Since the airplane is still traveling forward, the air would spin the prop. It would be windmilling very fast. Visually, it wouldn't make a difference. Now, what really happened is that pilots stop the propeller. As far as I know, when the engine is not working, the correct procedure is to feather the prop so it wouldn't produce more drag. Let's skip forward to another interesting part.
That's a fighter.
Yes, an ME-109 from the south. Peter, you take the tiller.
Listen for my instructions. Pointer south! Full speed, people. Keep coming round. Keep coming. Before he fires, he's got to drop his nose. I'll give you the signal. No, no, wait. Wait for him to commit to his line.
Okay, two simplifications here. Since we have parallel action, first, there is no way that you can avoid being shot by a fighter plane on a boat like that. Making a turn wouldn't make a difference. For a fast-moving fighter plane, a boat would be a stationary object on water. Also, the machine guns on the planes were high-caliber weapons, and the splash of the water would be much bigger. So this situation was completely fake. Now, the second simplification is the situation of Spitfire glider shooting down a Stuka bomber. Now, not impossible, but very, very, very unlikely. You have to understand that when your engine is not pushing you forward, you're basically falling down, and you have to immediately look for a place to land. I guess it's not impossible that this guy was at the right position at the right time, but it's very unlikely. Now, one more interesting thing, take a look at this particular moment. In this shot is actually a different plane, a Yak-52, that they've repainted and attached these elements that look similar to the exhaust of the Spitfire from the engines. From what I was able to research during the production, they weren't allowed to put an IMAX cameras on the exterior of the Spitfire plane. These planes have an enormous value. That's why in some shots you would see this Yak-52. Anyway, let's move on to the dead stick landing scene. So let me stop it right here. Remember what I told you about feathering the prop during the engine emergency? When he's landing the plane, you can see that in the shots of the undercarriage of the plane, the propeller is feathered correctly. You can see it here. However, in other shots, you could see it moving slowly. My theory is that it was done on purpose. I think that Christopher Nolan felt it's necessary to visually show us that the engine gave up. They probably consulted how they can achieve this effect. I think they found a way to make the propeller spin slowly. It kind of gave you that effect of a car that is still rolling. So all this additional effort to bend the reality in order to actually show you that the engine is not working is, my friend, good directing. Because on the end of the day, I don't care about all these little inaccuracies. Dunkirk is still the most accurate film depicting air combat of the World War II, and I'm sure that every real pilot watched it with pleasure and satisfaction. It's a proper dramatization of their passion done in good faith. So, that's the rule of licentia poetica. You get your audience approval to alter the reality, but it has to serve the story. Thanks for watching.